Then the researcher side of it had this sort of aha moment recently, quite recently, where, you see, as a researcher, I have all of this data. So I have the availability to look at all of those individual answers to the 34 questions that a client might fill in, for example, on Core 34, or all of the 10 questions on Core 10. But when it comes to looking at change, it's really interesting to have all those individual answers, but I would need an army of researchers to be able to work on all that data. So of course, what I work on is total scores. So I'm not really that interested in the individual answers. Clinically, that information is very useful to know what a client is saying about these particular domains. But from a researcher's point of view, I'm interested in what does the Core 10 add up to? What is the total score at the first appointment? The other thing is that I'm actually not that interested from a research point of view in all the in-between scores. So there's the journey. Take a client who comes for 6 appointments. They're seen at time 1, they're seen at time 2, they're measured again, time 3 again, time 4, time 5, time 6. What I'm interested in as a researcher is where were they at the beginning and where are they at the last point of contact. I say the last point of contact because if they dropped out of treatment, by measuring sessionally, you'll always have a final score. So we know from the Luton study, we know that about 40% of the clients who dropped out, who ended prematurely, benefited from treatment. I've never seen data to suggest that less than a third of clients benefit from treatment if they drop out of treatment. Are you with me? It's very important to have that information because it allows you to see that actually a good third of the people who elect to stop coming probably stop coming because they got what they wanted already, right? Now it's very valuable to have that information. So in no way would I recommend, to my idea, it would be going back to the dark ages. I mean, the real dark ages is not measuring at all. And I think, to be honest, it's an indefensible position now. I think we're just gone beyond that. Nobody is going to take anybody seriously who doesn't measure their outcomes. It's mandatory in all IAP services. Therefore, it has to be mandatory in any other services who want to compete on the same environment. But I believe it also would be, going back into the dark ages, to actually cease to measure sessionally. Why? Because there are 9 RCT studies that clearly demonstrate the value of feedback in treatment. In other words, if you're sensitive to whether your client is progressing or not, by having that information put back into your face, by looking at an outcome measure, you do something different. You respond differently. Those of you who are familiar with working with outcome measures probably know this. That if you just see a lack of progress, you think, what the heck, we've got to do something else. Isn't that right?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Why can't I do the same thing?
No. Insanity is doing the same thing over and over again and expecting different results. You know, so it's so valuable. And as I say, there are 9 RCT studies that clearly demonstrate the value of that now. So that would be going back in the dark ages. But what I've realized in this sort of epiphany moment a few months ago is that, oh my God, I could make this a lot easier for all those poor people out there who are trying to get their data in, right? And so what I believe the future holds is this. I thought, wouldn't it be wonderful to have a system, a data entry system that's versatile enough so that you can go from the extreme of one practitioner choosing to use, let's say, just one measure, for example, Core 10 at every session. The simplest format would be Core 10, 10 questions each time you come. They measure in paper all the way along, and they input a total. You add up the 10 questions at time 1, you write them down in a piece of paper, you add them up at the last point of contact. If it's a planned ending, that's it. If it's an unplanned ending, the last time the client showed up, and you enter that score. So now, instead of having, let's say there were 6 sessions, instead of having to put in 60, even with Core 10, 60 things, you've got 2 numbers to put in, beginning and end. That's simple, right? That sounds nice. I think, you know, most practitioners think, I can do that. I can actually do that. That's quite easy. On the other hand, there are services that are well set up with computers and that are mandated as well to gather GAD7 and PHQ-9. So, for example, our research network is involved with services in Hartlepool, it's involved in services in Staffordshire that are part of, they're like the IAPT compliance services. So they're obliged to use GAD7 and PHQ-9 99, and they actually have to put in all the individual scores. So the system is now versatile enough to be able to accommodate both extremes. You with me? So where does the future take us? Well, I think that, I suppose, I will not rest until every last practitioner is measuring outcomes and contributing their data. Because if we are to have truly representative data, that's how we need to do it. So when organizations, like I started off saying, this Mind Matters, or what did I call it? Mind something or other, put this stuff on their website, that we're in the position, Moving Minds, that when organizations like Moving Minds come up and shelter under their CBT umbrella of trauma-focused CBT, we are in a position to say, hold on a minute, question them to say, what clients are you actually seeing? What are those clients' outcomes? Never mind hiding under this umbrella. Tell us about the real outcomes of the real people you're seeing. Because we're doing that. Because our data is showing that we're seeing real people out in the real world of everyday practice, and this is the amount of improvement that they're making. That's when it's belt and braces. That's when we can really stand up and be counted upon. And it's a way, I would say, to all practitioners, I don't care what their therapeutic orientation, that you cannot any longer hide away from this, that it's necessary, it has to be seen to be done, it is the only way to really make progress out there. And to build that argument so we can have that sort of ground-up revolution of practitioners saying, look, we're tired of hearing about all this RCT stuff. We need to move away from that. We need to have robust practice-based evidence. A few years ago, I went to interview Steve Pilling, who's basically, he's one of the most senior people involved in the production of NICE guidelines for psychological treatments. And he said, the problem with practice-based evidence is that we have not seen good practice-based evidence. Because at that time, the papers were all on the core National Research Database data, which was time 1, time 2, with 61% of the clients missing. Do you see? Robust practice-based evidence is when you have the sort of information from Luton, where every single client is measured and you've got data on them, right? So is that clear? Yeah, okay. So where I think we're going, I'm hoping to take you guys with me, is first of all to demonstrate now a much more simple way of gathering the data. So my mission is to first of all demonstrate to people, look, it's very valuable clinically in your work to measure your outcomes using very simple measures. It's useful clinically to do that, to incorporate it in as part of your treatment. We've developed a simple paper-based system to do that, even to the point of figuring out how to laminate the outcome measures so you can use them again and again and again. You don't have to print off reams of paper, right?
Good idea.
Right, so we've got it down now to literally you need 2 pieces of paper extra in the client's files over and above what you would normally have, which I'm going to show you. And that's one part of it, simplifying the paper. So to make that life much, much easier, okay? And being environmentally friendly and saving lots of trees in the process. And